大谷翔平とディオン・サンダース、どっちが上だと思う？もしあなたがジョン・スモルツに直接聞けるなら、どう答えるでしょうか？実は今回、その答えが飛び出しました。動画の前に、ぜひ、コメント欄で予想を書いてください。高評価、チャンネル登録もよろしくお願いします。それでは衝撃の内容へ。
Who is the greatest athlete between Deion Sanders and Shohei Ohtani? We're also going to talk about his .74 ERA and his .300 batting average. We're going to talk about what Christopher Sanchez is doing on the mound, his scoreless inning streak, how impressive that is from a Hall of Fame right-handed pitcher to see what he's doing now in this day and age. And is Christopher Sanchez the Cy Young frontrunner as we sit here in early June, or is it a guy like Shohei Ohtani with that minuscule ERA? And big news out of the New York Yankees side of things. Aaron Judge is hurt, unfortunately. Tough injury for him, a fractured right rib, and it's going to be re-imaged in 4 to 6 weeks. So we're a couple months, I think, away from even maybe seeing Aaron Judge return. The word out of Yankee camp was that he is expected to return at some point this year. So a bad injury, a tough blow for the New York Yankees. And I'm going to ask John Smoltz, are the Yankees still a surefire playoff team without Aaron Judge, the best player in the American League, without him on their team? We'll see. But I am pumped to welcome in John Smoltz now, as we do every single week, and he's on the golf course, and he just does it wherever he can every week, and I'm so appreciative of that. So hit that subscribe button. It does really help, and make sure you comment on the episode. I promise I will respond. I love continuing the conversation of the episode, and this conversation with John Smoltz is sure to create some conversation. So without further ado, let's welcome him in now, the Hall of Famer, John Smoltz. And I am pumped to be joined, as we are every single week, by the Hall of Famer, John Smoltz. John, how are we doing this week? It looks great.
We're doing good. We're in a palm tree in Orlando. I got this wedged in the tree. So I think if we ever documented where I was doing all of these from, it would be an actually pretty cool show.
John, we're going to start with Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani just lowered his season ERA to 0.74 and raised his season batting average to 300. You said early in the year, you said right here on this show, I think he could have a lower ERA than his batting average this year. Could you have imagined this, though? This is crazy.
No, it is crazy, but he set his mind and he was ready, that he knew he was healthy and he could put all his efforts into one every 6 days, one every 7 days, whatever they decide to pitch him in. And I think he's showing his talent beyond what anybody could ever imagine. They've kind of assumed, and people have assumed, he's a great generational hitter, right? And the ancillary bonus has been, oh, he pitches a little bit. No, it's going to be flipped on his head this year, because he's going to be known as a great pitcher who also can hit. And I think that's what you're seeing come total front and center. Now, do I think he can stay under a 2 ERA all year? Probably not, but he's certainly set himself up for some cushion. It's a dream start for any pitcher who just all they do is full-time pitch. And yet now his hitting is catching on. You can see the confidence. You can see everything working in the way that he wants it. He will have some hiccups. There's no doubt. But right now, my gosh, just hand him the trophy.
We're just a couple weeks removed from, I feel like it's 3 weeks removed from people saying maybe he should stop hitting this year and just focus on pitching. He was hitting like 230, 240, and now fast forward literally a couple of weeks and we're at 300 and like the 5th or 6th best OPS in the league.
Yeah, and again, when you're that great of an athlete, it's a matter of time. You've got to process. People can't conceivably understand what he does on a daily basis, right? Now he's processing it, he's understanding, he's in a rhythm, and these things are working in his advantage. So that's the one thing that I can tell you. He's going to figure out whatever he wants to figure out.
John, I have a tough one for you. I have, over the last few days with Shohei doing what he's doing, been saying I've been saying he's the greatest baseball player of all time. That's what I believe. That's going to be up for debate, especially with longevity. But I said the other day, we might be watching the greatest athlete of all time. And that's quite the statement. And a lot of people start throwing out the name Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders. So my tough question for you, John, as a guy that played with Deion Sanders, Fill me in on who you think is the better athlete, Shohei or Deion Sanders?
Well, you got a better sample size in one sport of Shohei Ohtani. Now, I would have loved to seen Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders do what they did a little bit longer. But when you see the small sample size and you try to project what they were capable of doing, certainly what they did is extraordinary and in rarefied air. But in the history of our sport, no one has ever done what he's done. So it's hard to make that not the answer, right? I played with Deion. I played against Bo Jackson. Jaw-dropping, eye roll like you can't believe, but it was sustained not long enough to really, really say, okay, can that have been the greatest ever? Deion, I make the claim, would have been one of the greatest leadoff hitters to ever play the game if all he did was play baseball.
Yeah.
But he didn't. So you got to put him in a category as the greatest defensive player probably ever, and just a good and above average baseball player with raw talent that we never got a chance to see play out the way it could have. We're seeing Shohei Ohtani shatter, break. So long-winded answer, I'm giving the nod to Shohei Ohtani, even though you're talking about the freakish Bo Jackson running people over and hitting bombs and running like a deer. But it took its toll. Yeah. And what we haven't seen is it's not taken its toll yet on Shohei. The shelf life of this is pretty amazing.
Sticking in the National League with the Cy Young race that Shohei is certainly involved in, Christopher Sanchez, John, we just saw a scoreless inning streak that entered the top 5 of all time. It passed Bob Gibson, didn't quite reach Oral Hershiser, but Christopher Sanchez has been unhittable, unfathomably good. I want to ask you, as a starting pitcher for the majority of your career, when you watch what Christopher Sanchez has done in the month of May and into the month of June, what do you think as a Hall of Fame pitcher?
I'm blown away. I mean, Oral Hershiser in the era he did it, that was hands down, contact era. People are going to debate, is it, obviously it's harder to hit today, but the style of hitting is more conducive for swing and miss. Mm-hmm. What this 50-plus innings in today's era with the innings limits and it just takes more opportunities to get to this point. It's impressive. Oral probably pitched, 4 or 5 complete games, whatever the stretch was, maybe more, and it's impressive. And I never thought anybody would come close to 50 innings. I honestly didn't think, because of the rate that guys are being used and the effort level, I'm blown away by what he's done in his ballpark at the right time for a team that, needed it more than anything. It's pretty darn impressive. And even in the stylistic way that guys hit today, and you can miss more bats than ever, he's not necessarily going to punch out 13, 14 guys. So that's the beauty of what he did in today's era.
I know it's early, I know it's June, but is Christopher Sanchez, in your eyes, the Cy Young frontrunner, or would you give it to a guy like Shohei with the minuscule ERA?
I think for me, the volume comes in the bulk of work and the totality of the statistics. It's not just wins, it's not just ERA, it's not just strikeouts, it's not just those things. It's a combined effort of everything you put in. So if there's not a great disparity between the two pitchers running for the Cy Young, then the bulk of everything they're doing would speak for itself. That's the way I've always felt. I think you can prioritize a category and make it the most important in your eyes and lean somebody only in a tiebreaker situation. That's why I love the formula. So right now, without looking at every detail, as long as the innings are close and some of the statistics are close, when you have a 0.7 something ERA, you're hands down, in my opinion, going to be the front runner, because if everything being the same, is you're just giving up less runs.
Yeah.
And I know people want to come up with the randomness and the ERA plus and the adjusted this and the adjusted that. The bottom line is he's not giving up runs, period.
John, last one for you today. Aaron Judge is hurt. Aaron Judge is going to miss a good bit of time. My question is about the Yankees. Are the Yankees still a surefire playoff team with Aaron Judge going to miss a strong majority of the season?
They're a little less than surefire, but they're still in a position with their pitching staff to sustain something like this. You can pick on every ball club one guy that you just, oh no, not that guy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's that guy for the New York Yankees. But I would say the equivalent of Darren Judge going down offensively would be losing 3 starters in your rotation. That's how important he is. So 3 starters for one position player would personally put the Yankees out of commission. I think, though, the fact that they have the starting pitching, it gives them a buffer.
John, fun conversation today. I appreciate it, my friend, and thank you to the palm tree for holding up the phone.
Yeah, you saw the wind coming. I thought we were going to lose it, and it shifted, but it worked out.
We're gonna do a whole show one day on all the places we have done this, and you've set up a phone, and people are gonna love it.
You got it. Thanks
all right,
for having
thanks,
me.
John. See you next week.
Yeah. All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, look at this thing.
Wait, where was it sitting?
It was sitting like barely on a little thing right there.
Incredible. Thanks, John. All right, just wanted to thank John for joining us as he does every single week, no matter where he is, and it is truly so appreciated. I hope you all enjoy this episode as much as I did. Look, I wasn't necessarily expecting him to say both that, one, Shohei is the Cy Young frontrunner right now over Christopher Sanchez in his mind, and Shohei Ohtani is a better athlete than Deion Sanders, who he played with. Remarkable stuff. I consider myself a big Shohei Ohtani guy, maybe the biggest Shohei Ohtani guy in the media world. Definitely, I would say. But John Smoltz is a huge Shohei guy, and I love being able to talk to him because it just puts it into perspective when you have a Hall of Fame pitcher just oohing and eyeing over what we are seeing from Shohei Ohtani. And it's just a little bit different than a washed up minor league 5-year professional that didn't make it to the big leagues oohing and eyeing over Shohei Ohtani. So we can have 2 people do it.
ここまで見てくれたあなた、本当にありがとう。この動画が少しでも面白かったら、コメントで意見を聞かせてください。そして高評価、シェア、チャンネル登録も忘れずに、次の動画でまた一緒に野球の熱狂を味わいましょう。